Inget bra intro till det här, men whatever. Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show we talk about movies and we don't care about spoiling them. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello. And two things to clarify before we start this episode. First of all, maybe you can already hear it. I am about to catch a cold. It has just started, which is annoying because I'm traveling this or next week, but whatever. Or this week, sorry. Either way. Also, this might be the most awkward movie to talk about with my sister.
Well,
I'm so glad we didn't watch it together.
Agreed. Very much.
Because today we are talking about the 2025 here in Sweden. I think it is technically
24 in other countries.
2025 A24 Halina Rein written and directed movie Babygirl. Ooh, yes.
Which I need to point out is technically a Christmas movie.
Yes, which made me even more happy. It stars, written and directed by Halina Rein, which I think most people know her from Bodies. But it also stars Nicole Kidman, Harris Dickinson, and Antonio Banderas. And it's
the girl from Talk to Me. Remember her?
Oh, is that her?
Yeah.
Right.
The
Estelle? No, Esme.
Esme, the assistant.
Yeah.
She is the Talk to Me girl.
Right. Hey. Is she so? But she's not in Bodies. No, that's just a coincidence, I suppose.
That's just a coincidence. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Maybe she saw Talk to Me and liked her. She went, hello.
That's why I kind of recognized her, but I couldn't place her. Okay. Cool. That's another great movie, so you should check out.
Yes.
Anyway. So the story is, it's kind of a reverse of like a 90s sleazy Michael Douglas thriller.
What's
instead of the male high-powered CEO, Basic Instinct, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Without the murder mystery, I'll spoil that much. It's just not a murder movie. The high-powered CEO in this case is Nicole Kidman.
A woman.
Yeah, a woman. Who meets an intern at her job, and she's very titillated by him and his very, very irreverent, nonchalant attitude towards her.
Yes.
And it awakens some, desires she already knew she had, but she wasn't really sure about them.
Yes.
And then, the dirty stuff.
I was about to say hilarity ensues.
Ensues. I don't know. Well, gets a little hilarious towards the end.
Yeah.
Not really, but
some parts of it is kind of funny. Most of it's not.
Yeah. Most of it is. I don't know if I wrote that in. I would liken the whole movie, which is kind of apropos, to like a long climax almost.
Yes.
Like it's very reserved in the beginning, and then it's building. Even when you think like, oh my god, this is the release. No, the actual release is literally the last frame of the movie. And you're like, oh, when it happens.
Yeah. Which I think was very clever.
Yes. Should we? Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say about the plot that way, other than just going through it. I mean. She is the CEO of a robotics company or AI company.
They build robots to
for Amazon warehouses and shit.
Yeah, to make warehouses function better, I guess.
Yeah.
She's painted up as this Jeff Bezos looking dude,
basically
kind of thing. Yeah. Not looking, because no, she does not look like Jeff Bezos.
No.
Yeah.
And she's very, very in charge, very likes everything to be the way it should be.
Yes.
But she also has I mean, maybe that's like hindsight, but the very first scene in the movie, or second scene of the movie, the first scene, they jump right into the sex stuff.
Oh yes, her and her husband Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Getting it on.
But the second scene in the movie is her preparing breakfasts or lunches for her daughters.
Yes.
Her teenage daughters, which is like, come on, they can fix their own goddamn lunch, but whatever. And she has this apron on, and she's putting little notes in there, and it's very housewifey. And Antonio Banderas, who plays the husband Jacob, he's kind of a free spirit kind of woo guy, sort of. He's a director. He's an
He's a playwright.
Artist. Yeah. And he even points out, like, oh, why are you wearing that apron? To like, because that doesn't say, like, it makes you look like a 50s repressed housewife, but that's kind of what he's implying. Like,
yeah, he's
take
like,
it off.
That's not very modern.
Yeah, that's very. You're acting very trad,
Yeah.
But he just says, "Why are you always wearing that apron?" And she's like, "Because but there's something she likes about that." To serve people.
We do get a bit of an explanation towards that eventually.
Well,
a vague one. It's not telling exactly about the apron, but it's telling us about her background, which kind of makes it make sense.
Okay, I will discuss that more in spoilers, though. There's not much to spoil here, but I don't want to go too in depth on like background and stuff, because I guess that's the one thing you can spoil.
Exactly.
But I thought it was the opposite, and kind of the way they explain it in the movie is that it's not as once again, as Antonio Banderas says when he kind of finds out about it, like that it's not some sort of like daddy issue or repressed abuse or anything. It's just what she likes. Because okay, we'll discuss more of that.
I'll say this: there's two ways to look at this movie.
Okay,
there's the very straightforward, like 50 Shades of Grey fanfiction style thing, and then you can kind of like read into both of the characters, specifically Nicole Kidman's and Harris Dickinson's characters, like not trauma, but emotions and restrictions.
Sure.
Which is why, the more fanfiction style thing is more fun because it's very straightforward.
Yeah.
And you don't have to think too much. But we can discuss the more psychological things when we get to the spoiler part, because you need to discuss details for that.
Yeah. But the plot then happens that they have an intern program where they bring in like 10 interns for the year or whatever. And they can each pick a mentor from a list of people that already work at the place. And unbeknownst to Nicole Kidman, she's been put on that list, even though she's the CEO. She doesn't have time for that, but she's been put on this by her assistant Esme.
Yeah, because, and Romy is her character name, by the way.
Romy, yes, right. She needs to mingle more with people. She's always locked up in her office, whatever. And this guy, what is his name? Samuel. He picks her.
Sam.
They have right before they meet for the first time, so to speak, as an intern and the CEO. They do meet on the street outside the office, but they don't know each other then.
They have a strange meet cute.
Yes, where she is almost attacked by a stray dog, or a loose dog.
A loose dog, yeah.
But he like immediately manages to command this dog he's never met before, like heel, and he literally eats out of his hand.
He whistles.
Yeah. All right.
And she eats out of his hand.
Yeah. And that just makes her go, whoo! She gets all hot and bothered by it. And she doesn't know why, really. And then, he picks her as his mentor. And from there, the lurid affair happens. And she
torrid affair, as IMDb phrases it.
Okay, torrid affair. And she gets to experience she gets an outlet for her fetishes, desires,
I'm assuming he gets too.
Yes, that's the mysterious part. I'm not really sure what he's actually into. But anyway, and it's also, but the thing is that she likes to be submissive.
Yes.
She likes to be dominated, which
yes,
in a post, I mean, honestly, like always, but especially in post Me Too world, feels very like no,
a little bit frowned upon.
Yeah, to have that kind of power play, sexual power play, like where the woman is subjugated. Ugh. Oh no.
Yes.
Especially that, and not just that she like does it because he likes it, but she likes it.
Which, to be fair, is the only time it's okay. So.
Yeah, well, like
So
to
it
say,
shouldn't
as
be a
long as it is
problem.
two consenting adults.
Yeah.
But that they frame it from the woman's perspective, and the woman wants to be submissive. That's what
I
makes
find it
it
refreshing.
like. Oh yes, I do too. Because then let's when we've just that's and then it goes on. They have sex a bunch. Guess what? Antonio Banderas discovers it, and then there's a bunch of talking in the last act.
We only get to see them actually have sex like once, though.
Well, there's a couple of montages. There's implications that they have sex a lot.
True. I guess there's definitely a lot of meetups, and exactly what
Yes.
happens at those meetups are not always shown.
No, but I'm guessing they have sex after he makes her walk around and go woof woof.
I mean, she looks very vulnerable that one time when he finally gets her to be naked, like as if she hasn't been naked in front of him before.
Isn't that like
could be the first time they're actually fully
naked.
and intimate.
Yeah.
But whatever. Sexual acts are sexual acts no matter what you do, I guess.
Exactly. You don't have to be nude to have sex.
No.
Anyway, let's actually say, because we haven't really done that, but we've gone through the plot. Now we got the plot out of the way. Now we can start talking about the movie. What did you think of A Babygirl?
I thought it was pretty good. It was an interesting concept. It was an interesting way of like twisting it a little bit.
Yeah.
Making, like you said, it's this. It feels kind of taboo to have a woman want to be the dominated one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it's very realistic. And it's very refreshing, because like nowadays you can't allow that. After 50 Shades of Grey, we had like one of those movies and it completely flopped. I didn't even try to watch it. I just saw people complain about it. 365 or something.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Which
it looked
I thought
awful.
was like a
I mean, I didn't.
Netflix
I watched
like Turkish production or something. I was like, I don't get it. What is this? And everyone watched it for some reason.
Oh, I didn't. I only saw the
No, me
first
neither.
50 Shades of Grey, and it is awful.
Those movies are so weird.
The book is awful. Have you read the books?
No, I
once
opened
again, I read
it
the
at a
first
random
one.
chapter and like, what the hell is going on here?
That is basically porn.
Oh yeah, that's why fan fiction stays online.
Yeah, there's no complexity. There's no like interesting characters. It is just like, ooh, I like to spank. She's like, ooh, and then it's, well, maybe I can fix him. It's like
brief little like explanation to 50 Shades of Grey. Then, in case no one's learned about this for the last, like the movie's 10 years old by now.
Like, yeah.
But it is a fan fiction based on like the Twilight books because the author thought there wasn't enough sex in it.
Which is gross. But
She wanted the teenager to have more sex with the 100-year-old vampire.
Which is the gross part.
So she wrote a fan fiction about a CEO
yeah.
having a little sex slave.
And that's the thing. And that's where the...
How? Make that make sense.
Even though it's between consenting adults, that's where the power dynamic is more classic, but also then more like, ooh, because it's a high-powered male CEO who basically like lures a person who's never been into that stuff into doing it. Like,
by honestly buying her attention and like lavishing her affections with like cute stuff as well.
Yeah.
Just to like, by the way,
and then slowly
let me
like,
braid your hair and tie you up. Like,
He grooms her into like, okay, because first she's like, let me just tie you up. Because that movie, literally, they have sex and all that. And the last thing that happens in that movie, he finally gets to whip her with a riding whip. And she just breaks immediately and runs away.
And spoiler, all throughout those movies, they end up falling in love and getting married. So what the...
Yeah,
what was the point?
It's weird. It's weird. I wouldn't call it like
this
problematic.
Movie,
yeah.
No, it's just weird. Yeah. This movie does it way better.
Because my god,
they touch upon this whole... having emotions for the person you have sex with, but not really being in love with them. Yeah. You have this possessive emotion over them, but you're not falling in love because she already loves her husband, obviously.
This is just getting stuff out.
yes, it's an outlet.
Yeah.
And of course she's possessive about him. It's a very intimate thing. It's a very personal thing for her to divulge and like let someone know that she wants.
Yeah.
So she doesn't want him to be with anyone else in case he spills the beans or like starts comparing and then doesn't want her anymore.
Yeah.
It's a very complex way of doing it, and I like it. I like the switch of the power dynamics, or the difference in power dynamics, because we have both of them having power in separate areas over the other.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like about this movie.
Yeah. There's a lot to like about this
I'm trying to like, did I have anything I didn't like? Not really.
No.
I wouldn't say it's a 5 out of 5 because, I don't know, it's not my kind of subject to watch too much. It's an awkward watch still because of the subject matter.
Well.
But it's a well-made movie.
Yeah. Let me tell you what I thought about it.
Yes, please.
It's a 5 out of 5 for me.
Oh, really?
This is, it's only February, but still, this is the best movie I've seen this year. This is the best movie I've seen in a while. This might be better. We just talked about it, Strange Darling. Technically, I gave this a higher score. I mean, they're kind of different, but also not really.
Yeah.
You know, they're kind of similar. My face was like, the entire movie. You can't see it just listening to it, but I was just like, my entire face
Jaw
was just
dropped.
open. Yeah, the entire movie, and I gotta say, it was also a little awkward because I saw this in the cinema, kind of early in the day, around 3-ish. So there's not a lot of people in there, and I wasn't. I mean, I get there was gonna be like some steamy, you know, sex stuff.
Obviously, we knew that from the trailer.
Yeah, but there was a bunch of this. It's the classic trope, which is true. The early showings. Have just a bunch of old people in them that have nothing better to do, so they go to watch a movie, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go watch this new Nicole Kidman drama." Because I know Nicole Kidman. Yeah,
that's not a word people use in weird settings.
and then when she starts writhing on the floor and talking about peeing herself as he's violently fingering her, and I'm just like, oh my god, and there's a bunch of like 60, 70-year-olds around me.
Positive thing is, I'm assuming you didn't sit next to anyone.
No.
Thank God for that. Which could also be a bit awkward though, because if people notice you sitting alone in the back, like, what are you doing, dude?
There were 2 people on the same row as me, but everyone had spaced out.
Yeah,
because there weren't that many people in there, so because I was just like, I was so I was equally as titillated by the movie. So every time those kind of scenes come in, I was just like, because once again, this is why it's kind of awkward to talk to you about. But you know, it was definitely a movie in my taste to say, So it was just like, oh my god, this is like the hottest porn I've ever seen. Basically. Every interaction they had was like, oh my god.
I mean, no, get me wrong, but I get it.
I guess I'm a little biased, but you know.
Sure. No, thing is, this is, I'm pointing at the screen, my other screen, because I pulled up the IMDb here, right? They know what they're doing. She knew exactly. Halina, how do you say her last name?
I think it's Rain. Rain.
Yeah. She knew exactly what she was doing.
Oh yeah.
She was hitting all the buttons for both men and women.
Men and women. Yeah.
Who are obviously, it needs to be like a heterosexual kind of an attraction thing. No, maybe not.
No. It would definitely be less of a taboo power play thing if it was a gay relationship. 2 girls or 2 guys, but
you want the taboo thing, I think.
Exactly.
She wanted that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Hiring Harris Dickinson as the male lead works perfectly for any woman.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking about him on Letterboxd. I don't know who he is.
You've seen him in Triangle of Sadness.
Right.
In Where the Crawdad Sings.
Tanya! Yeah.
In The Iron Claw. Because you saw that one, didn't you?
Yes, but I don't remember him in that movie. He's one of the brothers?
David von Erich.
Yeah, okay, so he's one of the brothers. I don't remember him in that one. Maybe because he's probably much bigger in that movie.
he's been in a lot of things you probably have seen, but he's usually in like smaller roles.
Okay.
It wasn't until I think Triangle of Sadness he had like a big role where people actually started recognizing him.
Oh yeah, I've seen him in a bunch of, well, not a bunch, but some stuff, yeah.
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 I think that's where he got like his
See How They Run.
swing.
Maleficent. No, that's the second Maleficent. I never saw that one. Either way.
He's been in a bunch of things, and you've probably seen him, but yeah, he's usually a pretty, kind of a smaller role, or like not the main character at least.
Yeah.
I guess he wasn't technically in Triangle of Sadness either, but he at least made an impact in that one. Because they were the models, they were the pretty ones.
What do you mean he was in this movie? He was in that movie.
Yeah, but he wasn't like the main character.
Oh, okay. What? No. Well,
I think she is technically his girlfriend, the actual model.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, I'd call it an ensemble movie.
Yeah, true. I guess.
No. Either way,
that's where he got his like. And they're playing on that because he's again, he's supposed to be kind of hot. He's supposed to be the young guy. He's supposed to be very attractive. He's ripped for some reason.
Yeah.
Which I watched a couple of videos on. It's like someone pointed out, how did he have time to work out that much if he's working for this tech CEO thing, and then he's also moonlighting as like a bartender?
Listen, he's skinny. Then it's not that hard to look ripped.
Nah, I suppose
you just need to work out like 3 times a week.
No, he just does like 100 sit-ups in the morning and he's done.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
True, I guess.
Abs on a skinny guy that's fake.
And then you have Nicole Kidman who plays to the men who like most guys will like I mean, she's attractive. She's
very attractive.
Can't deny that.
No.
Kind of a woman in power tends to be vulnerable or like allows you to do things. Most men will like that. And it plays to their primal brains. Like, yes, we get to dominate. Ugh, we like that.
Yeah.
It's very well formulated.
Yes. That's the thing. I think Helena Rain really she
knew what she was doing.
She knew she's like a black widow spider at the center of her net, just weaving this web of depravity and lust and this desire and like pulling people in and then kind of never I was waiting for it to become like, oh no, this is actually a bad thing, like that this is him preying on her like past trauma or something like that, but that never happens.
No, because it's not really past trauma.
No. And I guess we have to mention, fuck it, we'll just do spoilers now, because it's not really that much to spoil.
Yeah, we're about 20 minutes in. We're fine.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, there's not not really anything to spoil, really. There's minor details, but you can still enjoy the movie.
Oh yeah, they're not like story changing.
There's no big twists and turns, so to speak.
No.
The one thing is, but I mean, that's, you kind of know that's going to happen. Antonio Banderas finds out.
And obviously, he's going to find out towards the end. Like,
and they have to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the twist there for me was him having like a panic attack and Samuel having to like calm him down, which was kind of like,
once again,
wait, what?
Very, very, very real reaction though. Or when she first tells him in the apartment and he gets angry.
Yes.
I thought, and I'm so glad. Because I mentioned this a few years ago in a video about the movie Pain and Glory, that in the, not the West, but in America, in Hollywood, Antonio Banderas is mainly known as like an action movie star, like Desperado and Vow of Silence and Expendables 3, Assassins, whatever. But he has done a lot of like big, meaty, dramatic roles in like in Europe. So
yes.
He has done other like drama stuff in Hollywood as well, but not that often, especially not a high profile thing like this. I'm so glad to see him get to like flex his fucking acting muscles in a big mainstream movie like this, because he's also so fucking good. Even though he
should have more lines in this movie though. He's not on screen enough.
No. But even that, his character, while being it's kind of funny because a lot of movies, when there's a guy having a problem, they always complain that, like, oh, and the wife character has nothing to do in the movie. She's just there to be the wife. And it's like, yeah, because she doesn't she doesn't matter into the actual plot. It's just there to show that he has like the person or character has a home life or whatever.
He has the perfect life. He has a wife and the kids and the white picket fence and all that stuff.
Here's the other way around. Like Antonio Banderas disappears for long periods of time in the movie, and whenever you see him, he's just there to like be the fucking like to make a point
He's
across.
the trophy husband.
Yeah. Because that's, and I was just like, yeah, that's how you write a script. Like you focus on the main character.
Exactly.
He's just there to like symbolize like traditional living, whatever, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And be a little bit of someone to talk to when you need to convey something or reveal something.
Which what I mean there is like just to say that it's like, oh, it's not as big of a complaint anymore, but people used to complain that like they underwrite all the female characters, it's so sexist. But no, they underwrite the supporting characters. Yeah, exactly.
Unless they are part of the issue, they don't have much to do.
No, exactly. And it's the same thing. And I wouldn't call he's not underwritten, but he's put to the sideline, which he's supposed to be.
Because he's not the main character.
Exactly. Anyway. And the other big thing is that she does go to therapy to try to figure out, because she knows she has some issues, so to speak, or what she thinks is issues.
Yes.
That's also what we see after the very first scene, the sex scene. As soon as they're done, she just runs off, goes into her office and watches porn and masturbates on the floor. She's like,
to actually finish.
Yeah, exactly.
She's faking it with her husband, Jacob.
Jacob. Yeah.
Jacob.
So she goes to a therapist to try to figure this, or psychiatrist, whatever, to try to figure this out. But when she's talking to him about it, that's when she mentions us. Now we can talk about it, because you had. She says like, first I thought it was my upbringing, because she did grow up in like communes and like hippie. Whatever it's called. Yeah, communes.
Communes. Yeah.
And then she's like trying to but that doesn't seem to be it. And then she's like, is there some sort of regressed trauma that she can't remember? She tries to bring that out with like hypnosis and whatever it's called. But then she's like, but it's nothing like that. It's just, this is just like who I am. It's always been there. And I was like,
sexual
thank
stuff.
you.
Yes, the sexual stuff. Yes, that is just who you are. You just like different stuff. There doesn't have to be a trauma or a response to something. It can just be, you need a little extra stimulation to get it.
In many cases, it does have something to do with trauma.
Sure,
but you can make it into a healthy thing. Yeah, it doesn't have to. Some people are just wired that way.
The trad wife thing is probably a response to her commune upbringing.
Oh yeah,
because she didn't have that fenced in nuclear family kind of thing. So she wants to be that for her husband and her children, as well as then being a CEO is also a bit of a step back from that, from the commune thing, from the hippie life.
Okay, yeah.
She's doing things that are very different.
Yeah. Very
different from her upbringing in her personal life, because she doesn't want to be that way.
But this is just
she kind of like brushes away when someone asks her about her name. She's like, oh yeah, shaman named me, whatever.
Yeah. But she's still, and this is such good writing, she still married a fucking hippie weirdo artist.
Because deep down in her soul,
she likes that kind of stuff.
That's what she knows.
Yeah.
Even though she wants to kind of distance herself from that by being traditional.
Yeah.
She isn't, to be honest. She's a CEO for a giant tech company.
Yeah.
Who still manages to make her daughter's lunchboxes. That is not traditional.
Yeah, I know. Like
that is a powerhouse of a woman.
That is the least realistic thing about this movie. She has time to run a company and be a good mother. It's like, what?
And have all these affairs and show up at parties and like.
Isn't that always the thing? Like, you're really good at your job, but you're neglecting your family.
See, I started making comparisons to an Anne Hathaway movie, The Intern.
Ah, yes.
Where the CEO of a big company takes on an intern who helps her realize what she wants in life and what's good for her in life. That one has the more traditional one. She doesn't have time for family, ends up with her husband cheating on her.
Yeah.
This is that, but this is deeper.
Yeah.
That one is more lighthearted, family kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't watch this one with your family.
No. No.
No.
Someone pointed.
So that's what I meant with the whole the hippie thing being like, or the trad wife stuff being like a reaction to her hippie upbringing.
Yeah.
The sexual stuff, I'm still saying is just like probably just what she likes.
Yeah, I don't remember if she mentions like an age where that started like getting into her head, but you could all and it's not, and also this is speculation because it's not mentioned in the movie, but could it be that obviously a hippie commune like that, it's gonna be all the free love and everyone's equal and woo woo whatever. Mm-hmm. Could it be that her liking to be submissive is also kind of rejecting her upbringing?
Yeah, it could be that she wants the structure.
Yeah, she needs to be reined in, basically.
Yeah, someone to tell her what to do. Because no one ever did. It could be.
Also, that is also
us being armchair
psychologists
here, but
that too. But it is also a classic like kink of powerful people to like sexually they like to be subjugated.
Yeah.
Because
they're always the one dishing things out. Now they just need someone to tell them what to do.
yeah. And that's what's so like the writing here is so spot on. Yes. Like there are no misses in this. There's nothing feels like awkward or weird or like no, that doesn't fit in. It is perfect.
Down to the point where it is awkward and it should be. Because we have that awkward moment in the beginning of the movie when she's trying to tell her husband to like do something else in the bed.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like, can we watch porn while we do it, or like, can you like, if I cover my face, can you like?
Oh yeah.
But she's too awkward to say it because she doesn't know what to ask for.
Because she also,
even though they've been married for what, like
19 years,
20 years or something. Yeah 19 years. She doesn't know how to ask for it because she's, first of all, been with the same dude for a very long time.
Yeah.
And she probably didn't know about wanting to do this until like the last few years.
No, I think she has known about it, but she's also, I think that's part of her. This is very confused, obviously.
Yes.
For and that's by design. I'm not saying that the movie is confusing.
No, it's supposed to be confusing.
Because she knows what she likes. Because
she doesn't know how to ask for it.
She doesn't know how to act upon it, and since she's kind of repressed that part for so long, now even though she's been with him for 19 years, she can ask him to do that stuff. And also, I think it's the movie almost never makes that a thing. That it's a frowned upon by society, but you can definitely tell that like she doesn't really want to ask because he is.
She feels like he's gonna judge her or something.
He is obviously more progressive than her,
yes.
without them ever comparing progressiveness, but whatever. So she's like, if I ask him, is he gonna be weirded out? Or just in general be weirded out because not everyone is into that stuff. So she doesn't ask, and then it becomes this like festering wound that never heals because she can never ask about it. And the longer she waits, the more awkward it's gonna get. It's like the 40-year-old virgin. He tries a couple of times in his teens and 20s, but then it
just never happens.
Just never happens. So she's like, well, whatever. I just stopped trying.
And along comes this guy who, first of all, randomly kind of saves her from what feels like a near-death experience. We have a raging dog running at you.
Yeah.
And he just saves it and acts like it's nothing. Then he shows up in her office and he's this... This is gonna sound weird. Someone phrased it very well. I didn't write it down exactly how they said it, but I was like, yes, that makes sense. He's this tall, awkward, kind of lanky, nerdy dude, but somehow so confident.
Yes.
That combination is deadly.
Yeah.
Awkward, but confident at the same time. Knowing what you, like... No. You can't do that. That's not fair.
And that's also why... Because... They alluded a couple of times in the movie that maybe he's not... I mean, he's obviously into it, but it's not like he needs it. They also show later on in the movie that he has like a regular, quote-unquote, regular relationship with Esme for a little while.
Yes.
But early on in the movie, like their first interaction after the dog attack is when she's on the phone asking him for a cup of coffee.
Yes.
He makes her a cup of coffee. And then she asks him, like, do you always keep cookies in your pocket? And that's where I think he first tries the waters, like, because he senses because it's kind of like the gaydar, but it's the BDSM radar.
No, but it's the way she looks at him. Why would she even ask that question? Yeah. That's kind of weird.
And he instead of like being playful, he is immediately like not dominant, but he is putting her down.
Assertive.
Yeah, assertive. And putting her down, not dominating her, by asking why. Do you want one? I almost flew out of my chair when he said that. Oh my God! Oh, Jesus Christ. Just like...
Again, it's this, he shouldn't be that confident in front of her because of her position in this company. But that he dares do it?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh.
Because he knows.
Wow.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. And the way she acts, her acting in that scene is phenomenal because you can tell in her, like, even though she has Botox in her face, like, you can tell that she's like questioning, should I ask?
Yeah.
The way when she hangs up her phone and she's like looking at him, it's like she wants to start talking to him, but she doesn't really dare. And then she chooses this random, like, can I? And then the way she brings it forth eventually, she's hesitant, and he knows, like, oh, but she's hesitant for a reason.
But that's also something that they bring up later, which maybe is the only thing that feels, it's not like weak writing, but it's the weakest aspect of the script, that it turns out her like, obviously, she likes to be told what to do. She likes to be submissive.
Yes.
But she also mentions that there has to be a sense of danger involved, and not like danger like, oh, I'm gonna cut you with a knife, but
being caught
or doing it with a coworker that has a lower standing in the company, which
he can sort of blackmail her.
Exactly. Kind of yeah. She could get fired because she mentions that. I think it is when she talks to her husband about it. Like, there needs to be danger, and not just what I mean. Like she needs to be a little afraid, not of him, but afraid of the situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
But that could also be a reaction to the whole commune hippie lifestyle, being like, sex is so fine, it's free, you do whatever you want with whoever you want. Yeah. Now she just needs to be like, no, but it's not, though.
Yeah.
It's not okay to do with whoever you want, whenever you want, so I'm gonna sneak off and kind of do it. It's also brought up when she mentions to Esme after the birthday party, she talks to Esme about dating an intern. She's like, technically that's not really good because, you have this difference in power dynamic, which is like pot calling the kettle black.
Exactly, yeah.
It's only because she doesn't want him to be. She doesn't want to share him.
Yeah, it's she doesn't want to share him, and it's also to kind of explain that
she knows what she's doing.
But to explain to the audience that the sense of danger is kind of what she's into, because she's in the exact same situation with Esme, but kind of worse, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I have anything. Like, we can rehash this whole, like, the psychology behind it all, but
yeah, but that then, because let's go to the end then, because she kind of dances around it a couple of times, trying to get Antonio Banderas, her husband, to, like, do some other stuff. He's very traditional,
Yes.
I think
he's a gentle soul.
Yeah. He gets kind of, when he asks him to just like go down on her, him like, ooh, spicy, basically. He's like, and she's like, oh my God. So when, because the movie ends with them, I'm glad that it has a happy ending, because that's also, this could have been like, because if it ended with them like divorcing and him, and Harris Dickinson, Samuel like leaving her because, which he kind of does,
He does.
He does. But if they were got divorced, her daughters were like, "Oh my God, I don't know who you are anymore, Mom," and she loses her job because he blackmails her. Then it would paint this kind of fetish or kink or whatever in a bad light.
Yes.
And that's not what the movie's trying to do. What it's trying to do is show, like, some people, believe it or not, some people, women in this case, are actually into this kind of stuff. And to, like, deny them, like, through, like, societal norms or whatever, is, it's repressing them. So, in a way, it's very feminist to let her fucking walk around on all fours and drink milk from a saucer. Anyway,
So, if that's what you like, why shouldn't you be allowed to do it?
Exactly. So when the movie ends with her, once again in bed with Antonio Banderas, like the movie starts, but they don't go like full fucking him, like do this, do that. But they kind of like the way they do it the first time when Samuel and her meets up in the hotel room. It's more of a detached, just sexual act to just get her off.
You know what the difference is in the imagery? In the first scene, she's on top. In the last scene, he's on top.
Exactly.
He is dominating her.
Yeah.
In a little sense there.
But also, the first time Samuel does it to her, there is no eye contact, at least during the fingering.
That's true.
While Antonio Banderas still, because he does this for her. He doesn't like it, so he still sneaks in a bit of eye contact there.
Because he needs it.
He needs that, yeah. So he
needs to know that he's doing it with his wife.
Exactly. So when she then climaxes, for the first time with him, because she does say that in a fit of rage, "I've never come. You never made me come for 19 years."
She does backtrack on that in a later conversation, but still.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. She just explodes. That was so scary. And she looks into the camera and smiles. And she's like, "Oh, yes! A healthy relationship. How wonderful."
It had a little detour for a while,
it was a bit of a roller coaster
they found
ride.
each other again.
Yeah, and I thought that was so good to see in a movie like this.
They grew by being vulnerable to each other.
Yes.
Because he got to see what she needs, even though he had to see it by finding out that another dude gave it to her.
Yeah.
She also got to see him be like vulnerable and like completely at her mercy, sort of, when he literally collapses and someone else has to save him.
Yeah. Which is...
She also gets like this wake-up call from her daughter going like, "Mom, you're acting weird."
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? I like that daughter. Very unnecessary side character, but I liked her.
Yeah, but what was the thing with... Because her daughter has a girlfriend, or at least someone she likes. No, it's a girlfriend. It's
a girlfriend.
When are we going to meet her? Whatever. But then they go up to their, like, their summer cottage, which is a giant fucking mansion.
And they celebrate Christmas there.
Yeah, all right, yeah. And then you see at night
her in
the daughter is in the pool with the neighbor girl, and she's like, "So what about whatever her name is, Linda or whatever,
girlfriend?"
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, me and the neighbor girl, we're just having fun. I still love Linda or whatever it is." And that is the one thing, like maybe that's I don't know what the movie's trying to say there.
I think it's like the softcore way of saying, like, it's not cheating if it's not like love, even though that's not really fair.
And that's the one.
Cheating is very personal. You need to like set your own boundaries, but they don't mention it. If what the daughter and her girlfriend has is a kind of open relationship, or if they're fine with it.
But they don't mention that, so I'm not sure.
They don't mention it.
I'm not sure what we're supposed to get out of that. What's the point of that story beat? Because
I think it's just to show like Nicole Kidman's character that I'm not the only one doing shit like this.
But then that's kind of
because
that's the one thing I don't. Once again, that's just personal. It's I'm biased, but that's the one thing I don't agree with. You should not cheat.
No, God no.
It's fine to like be attracted to someone else, even fall in love with someone else, but then before you act upon that, you need to break it off with the first one. I'm sorry, but like,
unless you have a conversation with your partner and they agree.
Sure.
But that's a whole different thing. She doesn't bring it up with him.
No, exactly.
So he can't agree. He has no say in this.
No, exactly.
So yes, she is cheating.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the movie's trying to excuse it.
I don't think they're trying to excuse cheating. I think they're trying to like give us like, before you go this far, you need to think about what you're doing. And when she sees her daughter do the same thing, she realizes like, shit, I am cheating.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
think that's what they're doing.
I'll choose to interpret it that way.
Yeah. Because I don't think she understands. Like, she knows, but she doesn't, like, want to accept that she is technically cheating on her husband.
No, I think she knows
because she feels cheated with her husband as well, because she never gets to climax.
Sure. But I think she knows that because that's part of that danger thing. I think.
True, but she's not in love with Samuel at all. She's just in love with the emotion he brings out in her.
I guess. I think that's part of the confusion.
She's infatuated at certain points.
Yeah, I think that's part of the confusion. She thinks she's in love for a while, but realizes that there isn't real love. Because, that's also, I don't know if... Remember I mentioned the movie Sanctuary? Which was so frustrating because that's kind of a similar movie, but there the power dynamic is swapped. Where the guy likes to be, like, dominant and told what to do, and all that. And that's why that movie is very, but also very frustrating because you never know where the play stops and the real world starts. And this has a little bit of that. Like, the time when Samuel shows up at the summer house or whatever,
vacation house,
and she drives him to the train station. He has like a fucking childish fit in the car,
little tantrum, yes.
And I'm like, is this him like actually just he's just a fucking 20-year-old fucking brat, or is this part of his like his weird power play that like well, if you're gonna, say these things, I'm not gonna do this with you anymore, and maybe I'll even tell someone what we did, because he does say that later.
Yeah.
So is that part of the power play?
I saw that moment as him being scared.
Okay.
But I'm not sure, like...
No, me neither. I
wasn't sure
that could be it.
What he was scared of, really. Because ultimately, he has nothing to lose on this.
No.
Even if she somehow manages to convince the company that no, he's lying for attention, he's lying for money, he won't lose anything. He'll lose an internship.
Yeah, exactly. He has maybe all he'll get the power.
Maybe he'll get on a couple like blacklists, but like that's probably, we don't know what he actually does, so we don't know if that's actually going to impact him.
Yeah.
In the best case scenario for him, she gets fired, he gets a load of money, like. He has nothing to lose, but for some reason, maybe he realizes that he's overstepped the line a little bit.
Yeah.
He realizes that, this woman actually has a husband and children. Even though he knew it, it's the ones you see you actually realize it.
Yeah.
And he gets a little scared, going like, am I fucking with her life too much now? Did I overstep? And then her pointing it out and calling him out on it, kind of going like in defense mode.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, and then trying to, again, get that dominance back by, like, yelling at her, because how else do you scare a woman?
Yeah.
Which does work. I mean, it kind of works. She does get scared, but ultimately, he doesn't get out until she lets him out, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was, like, a realization for him.
But those are the things, like that, and the daughter... with the neighbor girl.
They're a little vague.
But I like I said, I hesitate to call it bad writing. It's just like it's interesting, but I don't fully grasp what they're going for there, or what Helena Rain is going for there.
It might also be just like an open for interpretation. She had a thought with it, but she didn't want to like actually write out exactly what she's trying to say, because that would be too.
Pandering to the audience. That would be
bad writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To explain everything and make the audience out to be idiots.
Yeah, this is like, okay, you can see this as different things.
Yeah.
And maybe based on how you interpret these specific moments, you will see the movie in a different light.
Yeah.
Because maybe some people walked out of this going like, yeah, cheating can work sometimes. While others went, hey, maybe we should be open in our relationship and talk about our preferences.
Yeah.
And
that once again, maybe a bit of my bias, but because that's ultimately what the movie ends up with, them talking it out.
Yes, exactly.
And being, at least what we see in the movie, being a better couple for it.
Yeah. The horrible way of going by it. You should never have to cheat to get to that point.
But then
it's her insecurities making her scared of talking about it. But once that, like, everything is ruined anyways, I might as well just say it.
Yeah. But then there is the hint in the very last scene, the last sex scene, because Samuel has left. He took a job with Kawasaki or whatever they say.
Yeah, he left the country, for Christ's sake.
And the second in command at her
company.
No, the guy, whatever his name, William.
Oh,
whatever.
Right, him,
like, because people kind of found out, and they maybe not found out all of it, but they found out, like, oh, she's into weird stuff, and he's like trying to, like, oh, maybe we can go for drinks at my place, and she just shoots him down immediately. And I love that, once again, that because just like Samuel in the beginning, he knows there's something with her.
Yeah,
she can immediately tell that he's not into it in that way. He's just being a fucking douchebag and kind of a guy. Because all guys like to be a bit dominating, but they're not into domination.
Exactly.
So she says, like, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of my office, dude.
Yeah.
Because that's also the thing. Like, it has to be a certain person, a personality.
Of course, you have to have a certain attraction to the person. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
But then, in the last scene, then, the sex scene, when she is climaxing, they do keep cutting to the hotel room, but it's not flashbacks. It's basically like fantasy of him with a dog, Samuel with a dog.
Yes.
And I'm like, so is she getting? I mean, is she getting off because Antonio Banderas is finally doing what she likes, or does she still have to think about Samuel to get off? I don't know. It's a bit up in the air. It could be both. Could be neither. And I still think that her smiling at the camera means that, like, it's a good thing.
Either way, she's happy, yeah.
Either way, she's happy. But
she doesn't have to cheat anymore. If she's fantasizing about another dude while her husband actually gets her off, that's fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know she's thinking about another dude.
But once again, that's...
Is that emotional cheating, though?
No, not emotional cheating, but just like how she repressed her feelings or her things for 19 years and then it kind of blows up. Will her, like, oh, it's fine then. Like, I'm still not attracted to my husband like that, but as long as I fantasize about Samuel, it'll be fine. Is that going to blow up in another 10 years? That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Or is it just showing that was the kind of dynamic they had? Him being a dog trainer and she being the dog?
Could it just be, a cinematic language to show, like, this is what's happening in her brain right now? Not that she's actually thinking about it, but this is what's going on.
I'm thinking it's more that one.
Yeah.
I don't think she's actually...
Like I said, it's up for interpretation, and I like that. You can see it both ways.
We need to mention, because I thought you were going for Esme actually blackmailing her way into the promotion she's been nagging about the entire movie.
Yeah.
Because when she finally says to Remy, like, I know what happened between you and Sam, so just give me the promotion now, please.
Yeah.
I've been dying to get it for years. You've been saying you're going to give it to me.
Because she has been hounding her the entire movie, like, hey, we should have that talk, right, about me, going up a couple of levels here. She's
You've
like,
been saying
sure,
we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Now she's like, you know what? Give it to me or I'm going to talk.
Could that be another... Now I'm just seeing if everything is like a play on domination here, that Romy sees Esme as someone kind of, like, weak. So, yeah, she does her job and all that. She's very good at her job, but she is not capable of eventually running a company like this. She's not me. So she keeps putting off that meeting about giving her a raise, giving her a new position. Because she's like...
promising it to, like, keep her along, keep her on the hook.
Pushing it to the side, like, it's fine. We don't have to talk about it. And then it blows up in her face in the end.
Could be.
That ultimately Esme is weak. I can't give her a new position here. I don't know. I just thought of that now.
It could be that, or it could just be like too much on her mind. She never got around to it, which is a common thing with the CEOs, I guess.
Sure.
It also is a very refreshing way that it's another woman blackmailing the woman. It's not the man she actually had sexual relationships with.
Yeah.
Relations with that is blackmailing her. It's someone else.
Yeah.
Who's like, you know what? Fuck it. If he doesn't use it, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Overall, this is a very good movie.
Oh yeah.
It's very intricate in a way.
Yes, like I said, I'm a bit biased.
I'm unafraid,
but it's it's the best movie. This is gonna be where like we said, it's a long way there. It's a year away, but like this is gonna be in the running for best movie of 2025 for me. And
I'm like, wait, I have to look up my 2025 rankings, and I have like one movie there yet.
Yeah, I haven't ranked anything yet for 2020. Oh wait, maybe I have, but yeah, this is definitely.
I don't think I've seen anything 2025 new except for this one and Nosferatu.
I have because I was at the film festival, so I have a few movies from 2025. But the best one I have there is Bird, which has a 4.5. So this is the best movie I've seen this year so far.
I mean,
yeah, I was gonna. Well, out of
early,
the
but yeah,
it's very early. But honestly, how many 5 out of 5 should we get a year? Like last year was 1.
Like,
the year before that was 2. This might be it.
Yeah, I've had like 2 or 3 each year. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm about the same. At least new movies, 1, 2, maybe 3.
I'm counting only new movies.
So we might have peaked early, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's bad, but
we did the same thing last year, though.
I guess. No,
I think we.
Oh yeah.
No, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah, because we saw, the Civil War.
Civil War was pretty early.
It was early in the year. I want to talk about Helena being a fantastic director and writer.
Oh yeah.
For a short moment.
Yeah,
because she's done not a lot.
This is her third movie.
This is her third movie, both as
writer and director, huh?
Writer and director, I think.
Yeah, because she's mainly an actress.
Yeah,
but I can't place her in anything.
No, I don't think I've seen her in anything personally. It's a lot of we said she was Dutch, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think it's a lot of Dutch movies.
Ah, okay.
Actually, yeah, like all of them seem to be Dutch movies or TV shows and stuff.
It's interesting then how she how
did she manage to get bodies out
exactly
there?
Maybe because she has, like I said, her first movie, which we're going to talk about on Patreon, patreon.com/ please don't make a scene, or don't make a scene. Instinct, yeah. It came out in 2019, and that is a Dutch movie.
Yes. Starring not her, no. She looked a lot like her.
Yeah. And this is a movie I never heard of. It didn't really... It got pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
66 out of 100 on Metacritic. But didn't really win any awards or anything. But I guess...
Actually has 6 wins, but no, I don't think there's any big ones.
Yeah. But I guess someone saw it, and usually when it comes down to this, she had a good agent. So there was some buzz probably happened with that movie. So then we're like, if we go to Hollywood now, we can get you a movie there. And they probably campaigned for her to get her bodies. However, and we said, we both like bodies. But of these 3 movies, that one sticks out kind of.
Yeah, it's a very different subject.
It still deals with like societal norms and how repressed society really is. Because that movie is all about how like progressive ideas kind of gets you into trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, when they're discussing who murdered who, and the girl says, "That is so toxic." It's one of the funniest scenes ever. Oh my god.
I rewatched it last year. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I saw it last year too. It's so good. It's so funny. So I guess that's a through line, but that movie is definitely more of a comedy. more of a comedy. It's
it
more
touches more on
action and violence and
but it touches on more I feel kind of not immature subjects, but like something that teenagers will
everyone's
think about
in their
more.
20s except for the veteran.
Yeah,
Army veteran
it feels
guy.
like a younger demographic. It's a younger person issue because you think about what society thinks about you in that sense instead.
Yeah.
Babygirl and Instinct, I feel, is more of like, as an adult, I shouldn't be doing this.
Obviously, Babygirl is a very grown-up movie.
Yes.
Like, adult sounds weird to say, but it's very grown-up. It's very grown-up. And I haven't seen Instinct yet, but I'm guessing it's kind of the same. Because it deals within a similar, like, it's someone being, like, into a taboo thing. Like, it's a psychologist who, like, falls for this sex offender rapist guy, and she's like...
That she is treating. Yeah. She is in power there.
Yeah, she's like, I'm kind of into it in a weird way.
Yeah.
So obviously, they're kind of connected there about the taboo sex stuff. So,
the power dynamic thing, yeah.
So that's interesting.
I'm interested to see if Babygirl is like a evolved Instinct or something.
Yeah, that she's
if she
growing as a
director
or writer.
Managed to make the same movie but better.
Yeah, without just remaking it.
Exactly, which I kind of always want directors to do if they had like a pretty good first movie. Yeah. Do it again, but with more money, and just improve on it.
Yes. That's every good director kind of makes the same movie over and over again, but gets better.
Yeah,
at
they
it.
just exactly
like
changes the font a little bit.
Yeah, like every Christopher Nolan movie, like doesn't matter if it's Batman or if it's a science fiction drama like Interstellar or if it's a biography thriller like Oppenheimer, or like a murder mystery like what's it called? Whatever. Memento is a murder mystery as well, sort of.
Yeah.
They're all different in that way, but they're all ultimately about time. If you think about it, they all play with the concept of time, and they deal with what time does to people.
Yeah.
And
how the passings of times changes people.
Yeah, and if you look at his movies, he is like he's never like his trajectory has always been like Memento, beginning with Memento, or following really, but Memento, and then it's Memento, Batman, Dark Knight, Interstellar, Inception, Oppenheimer. Yeah. He's always getting better at what he does. So that's he's a perfect example of that. He keeps constantly remaking that concept, but he gets better at it. And I'm hoping this is the same thing here. It feels like that based on the concept of Instinct,
yes,
and what Babygirl was, and what Bodies was. Yeah.
If not, she did make Bodies a great movie.
Oh yeah,
and Babygirl is an even better movie, even though it's very different. It's still a very good movie. Like she is evolving.
Oh yeah.
In front of our eyes.
Oh yeah.
And we are lucky to be this early in this.
Yes, that's another thing. Like I'm so glad we discovered Halina Reign early.
Yes.
Because I'm
for everyone else.
Well, yeah. I think a lot of people saw Bodies, but she doesn't have anything planned yet. Maybe she's not that kind of director who just jumps into a product immediately, but
she usually writes as well, so
yeah.
It takes a while, I guess. Maybe she doesn't... I mean, since she is directing, and she's always also producing, I think. A lot of them.
Yes. And she did...
Maybe she doesn't have time to, like, work on multiple projects at once.
Yeah. But I am already eagerly anticipating her next movie. Oh, she is... It's like I said, it's very early, and I've only seen 2 of her only 3 movies. But she's quickly jumping up as one of my favorite directors. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If anything, favorite female directors, if you want to be like specific.
Yeah. Or hey, I don't want to.
No, but like,
she's up there.
Yes.
When it comes to female directors, she might be my favorite. Then, if we're gonna go only female.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
other than like, what's her name? Claire Denis, maybe? No. Halina Reign is better. Anyway, I think we can kind of wrap it up there.
Yes.
We didn't talk much. We mentioned the performances, but we can just I'll say this: Harris Dickinson is great. Antonio Banderas is great.
Yes.
Especially him having this kind of cucked role plays it perfectly.
Yeah.
Without him feeling like pathetic. But the main thing here is Nicole Kidman. She gives maybe one of her best performances ever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying, like, what have I seen her in before?
No,
that,
oh my God.
Where I remember her as an actress.
Sure.
Like, I've seen her in a lot of things, obviously. But I don't know if she's ever stuck out to me in that sense.
Sure. I wonder, because they had an entire stunt team for the movie. And obviously, for the dog scene. But then I'm wondering, like, so maybe this wasn't like a Demi Moore situation where she was brave and got naked for the movie. Not that you have to, but I'm wondering, like, how many, like, nude doubles there were for this movie. Because I could see that being a thing. Not that matters, but, it was just, like, funny to see it. Like, in this movie, I saw the credits, like, stunt team, and there was, like, 10 stunt people involved. I was like, what? Okay. And I was like, oh, maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Like I said, it doesn't matter. It's just funny to see.
No.
But either way, such a great performance.
Oh, yes.
So
fantastic.
Like, completely understanding the material, going for it, being like vulnerable without it feeling like gross. The
internal turmoil in those early moments when she's like, she's telling him to sit down, but he is obviously supposed to be dominating the scene, and she's like still fighting for that little shred of like, no, I am still your CEO. Sit down, dude.
Yes.
And he's like, no. And she just gives in eventually.
Yeah.
I can see the fight going on behind her eyes, basically.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Oh yeah, I loved it too.
How old is she? I'm sorry. I have to look.
She must be in her 60s at this point. No, maybe not.
She has one Oscar win. I feel like she should have more. Even though I don't remember her from any of her other roles. She's born 1967,
so she's 58? Yeah.
Yeah, nah, 57.
Oh yeah, she isn't, but she turns 58 this year.
In June, yeah.
She's won one Oscar. Has she been nominated? Oh, she's been nominated more times, a lot of times.
Oh yeah, and she's won other things 190 times.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the Oscars, just the one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anywho. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. Two kind of smaller, weirder movies in a row, but every year when we kind of start out the podcast again, I've said it, but maybe on air, but definitely to you, it's like, this year we should just do like movies we actually want to see, because some years it's been so exhausting to just watch like Disney garbage over and over again.
Yeah.
So far this year I've like only watched like smaller movies, like at the film festival and we talked about Strange Darling. It's been so nice so far. It's not gonna. Yes. We're obviously
gonna have to throw in some other stuff.
We're obviously gonna have to cover Snow White. I think I don't want to, but I think we should go and see it.
Are you caving?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to give Disney any money for that. But gee, I really want to, because we have to watch it in order to complain about it. We want to be allowed
to talk about it. Yeah. We'll get to that bridge we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But for now, like, it's been so refreshing to talk about actually really, really good movies for once.
That's true.
Or this much, at least. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, or watching on YouTube. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe and all that, and leave a comment. Have you seen the movie? What did you think of it? Was it too icky, or did you
raunchy?
Did you like it a little too much, like me? I mean, I wish there was a camera in that, because I even started looking around.
See your face?
Are you watching this? Basically. Yeah, so leave a comment. And also, if you want to hear us talk about Instinct, Helena Rain's first movie, check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. But for this week, that's it. Next week, we haven't anything planned.
Next week is the spoiler awards.
Oh, right. That's when we're gonna, announce the winners.
We're a little bit ahead of ourselves at the moment.
Yes, because like I said, I'm traveling, so this isn't coming out for a while.
So
yeah, but after that,
next up will be the spoiler awards. After that, we're not sure
yet.
Maybe we'll find an Oscar movie we want to talk about. Maybe we just find something else we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, but if you should check us out. See what we talk about. And until the next time, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
The Spoiler Cast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It's produced and hosted by Tobias Vedén. Co-host is Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén. I also want to give a shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. CK85, Kristoffer Wilén, Daniel Gaiso, Annika Vedén, Jacob, Mom and Mac, and Laura Kinney.